Hi, and welcome to the Military Mike channel. I'm going to do two videos on what Tim from the Military Arms channel would call NFA nut kickers, an AR with a Fostech trigger in it, and a Mossberg shockwave. So first up, I'm going to do a video on the AR. Alright, I installed the Fostech Echo II trigger into this Ruger AR556. Originally, the first Fostech trigger, they had to send you a bolt carrier group with it, but this is supposed to work with a normal mil-spec bolt carrier group. Now, I didn't do any install video on this just because Iraq Veteran 8888 has an excellent install video for the Fostech trigger. But I will say that because this is a Ruger, I did have a little bit of trouble, and let me just explain to you a little difference here. But I got the Fostech trigger in my Ruger lower. The problem was the bolt carrier group. Now, the bolt carrier group has to be mil-spec, and just to give you an idea, this is a mil-spec bolt carrier group, and this is M16 bolt carrier group. It's called mil-spec M16 full auto, and this is the semi-auto bolt carrier group, which there's an obvious difference there. You can see that this is 1.5 inches, and this is only about a 1/2 inch. Well, about 3/4 inch. Thing is this is my bolt carrier group from the Ruger. Now, when I was eyeballing that to see that if the trigger would work, to me that looked like mil-spec, but you know, I didn't really have anything to compare it to, and I wasn't about to. The problem is when I got it in, it didn't work. Well, as I showed you, this one's 1.5 inches. This one's only 1.25 inches. So Ruger kind of played a little trick on me here. And I wasn't about to rob the bolt carrier group out of my Daniel Defense, so I went ahead and just picked, luckily a gun store in town had this on hand. So I'm going to put this mil-spec in my Ruger, and we're going to see if it works. I actually had to buy a mil-spec bolt carrier group for this Ruger because, as you've seen from the little bit of footage that I made yesterday, the Ruger bolt carrier group was neither a normal semi-auto or a mil-spec bolt carrier group. So let's just test this out. This is the first time I fired it with the Fostech trigger in it. And the Fostech trigger has the normal semi-auto mode, safe, and then there's the Echo mode, which the Echo mode fires when you pull the trigger and as you release it. So, as this is the first time I've fired it, let's go ahead and try it in the semi-auto mode first. Okay, we proved that that worked. Now let's try it in the Echo mode. That's pretty fun. And one question that I've been asked when I said that I bought this, one question that somebody asked me was, what if you've already pulled the trigger and decided you don't want to pull the second shot? Well, what you can do after you've fired your first round, pull the trigger, you can flip it back, and this isn't ambidextrous. You can flip it in either fire mode or safe mode, and you can let go of the trigger without it firing. So let's put that to the test. Okay, let's flip her back into fire mode and let go of the trigger. So let's have a little bit of fun with this. Nice. Sweet. Oh. And failure. Failure to eject. Alright, I'm going to clear this malfunction off camera and we're going to get back to it. Alright, having to take off the upper to help clear the malfunction gives me an opportunity to show you there is a little trick to putting an upper back on with this trigger. For me, I found you have to put it on the actually on the echo mode. You got to hold this little spring up, push the hammer down, hold the trigger, then you can let it go, hold the trigger back, and then that's how you got to do it. Alright, after clearing that malfunction, I went ahead and donned a glove because even the grip is starting to get hot on this. So let's try a couple more magazine dumps and we'll call it a day. Alright, so as you can see, this is kind of a fun little toy to play with. I'm not sure what advantage it'd give you tactically for anything. It's just something kind of fun to play with. If you like what you see, please check out some of my other videos, comment, like, subscribe, and check out my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon links below. And just a quick note, when I say check out my Patreon link, I'm not e-begging or anything. I just want you to check out to see who I support on my Patreon, because how I obtained this trigger, I'm a patron of Military Arms Channel. That's one of the many channels I'm a patron on. But as you know, Tim owns a gun shop called Copper Customs, and if you're a patron of his, he gives you some pretty sweet deals through his Patreon. This trigger was $120 less than it's going to come out for retail because he had a deal, I guess, with Fostech. And they've also released some, like a pre-ban Colt ARs for $695. I mean, I didn't have the money at the time to pick one up, or I would have. So, like I said, when I check out my Patreon links, check out just some of the channels I'm a patron of, because, myself, I'm just lucky to be a redneck who has a great job and can afford to, spend some money on my hobby a little bit. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.